Hi there, this is Jamie Mushaw with Jamie Mushaw Real Estate, and we're here in West Vancouver today to visit three of my absolute three favorite neighborhoods in all of Vancouver: South Cliff, Evergreen, Highlands, and a neighborhood known as Dubois. Some people call it Dubois. And we're also going to visit three of my favorite streets in all three of those neighborhoods: Rhododendron Drive, Dubois Drive, and Buena Vista Drive. All three of these neighborhoods have custom built homes for the era that they were built in. These are all 1950s, 1960s, Northwest contemporary, mid-century modern, just every single style that you could ever think of that was built during that time frame. These are war era homes that were just constructed impeccable. So I'm excited to show you guys this neighborhood. Let's go take a look. Okay, so we're entering South Cliff right now, which is the furthest west neighborhood of the three that I talked about. And essentially, all three of these neighborhoods sit on a bluff in West Vancouver. And it the one that there's homes in here that actually sit on the bluff that have views of the Columbia River, which we'll see here in a second. And then you have interior homes that are the smaller properties, which are more of your one standard one levels. Every one of these homes are on over quarter acre lots. And then as we get to the bigger ones, some of them are on half acre and acres. And it's just during this time frame, none of these homes are the same in this neighborhood, which is pretty unique. Again, these are war era homes that are absolutely stunning. They range from anywhere about $500,000 and will kick all the way up to over a couple million. So we're approaching my first of my favorite three streets, which is Rhododendron. And Rhododendron is a pretty short street, but the homes on this road are just magnificent. So I'll kind of drive through slowly. Hopefully, we can catch a couple of them. They sit back off of the road, and so it's kind of hard to see some of them. This one's actually a newer house. There was a home there before that they tore down, which has happened on the streets, but a majority of them are the older contemporary and mid-century modern style. There's actually Cape Cods in here as well, like this property on my right that we're coming up on. Cape Cod style. Just a beautiful setting. And like literally on the other side of these homes is a straight shot view of downtown Portland and the Columbia River. It's stunning. And then a lot of these homes in here on this side, on the right hand side, are definitely 4, 5, 6,000 square feet. Most of these are original homes that have gone in and been completely redone to the era. This house here has been for sale for a very long time. It's a tear down. You're probably going to be rebuilding a new property there. But yeah, this is the end of Rhododendron, and I'm going to take you through the rest of the neighborhood. But those are some pretty spectacular houses there. I love South Cliff. Okay, we're back here to Rhododendron. I'm going to drive down this again so you can see the homes on the other side of the street and how drastically of a change it is from one side to the other. But again, these are really nice homes, even across the street from the bigger ones. These are very sought after properties properties. People do not move out of these neighborhoods, and once they've bought in here, they typically stay for a long time because it's very low turnover. Not a lot of homes come up for sale in here, and people want to move into this area. So we're about 15, maybe 20 minutes from Portland Airport, and we're about 10 minutes from direct downtown Vancouver, which in direct downtown Vancouver, they've just recently, in the last 5 years, completely renovated, redone everything down there. So it's very popular. There's brand new hotels, condos, restaurants, very walkable. So it's nice that you're close to downtown Vancouver from this particular area. Again, this is South Cliff. And each neighborhood has its own park. This is South Cliff Park here on the right, which is kind of nice. The other unique thing about this neighborhood that you won't find is that there's no sidewalks, but the streets are super wide. So even though there's no sidewalks, streets are wide, it is a very walkable neighborhood. This is probably about the furthest east of the neighborhood. And the end of it, essentially. And then we'll skip over to the next two from here. And that's it. That's South Cliff. And we're going to head over to the other two neighborhoods. Okay, now we're in Dubois or Dubois neighborhood. And this is very similar to South Cliff in terms of how the year built of homes. They were 1940s. They're very, well built. There's homes in here that you can get into. They're kind of starter properties in that 500s range for this area. And again, they go all the way up into the millions of dollars. Here on the right, we have the Dubois Neighborhood Park. And then we'll loop around and take a look at the rest of the neighborhood. So again, we're on the interior portion of Dubois. We're going to start wrapping around right now to Dubois Drive, which is my second favorite street of the three. And again, these are just beautiful custom built homes sitting on the cliffs. Essentially, they all have very big backyards, though. Straight shot view of Portland, Columbia River. Some of these homes have been torn down and rebuilt just because of the value in the land and just not being able to find new properties like this where the yards are flat. But it's just absolute meticulous yards, meticulous neighborhood. If you're looking for an older, upscale view property neighborhood, this is definitely an area to consider. No two homes are alike in here. Everything on this right hand side has views. And most of these homes are, between 4,000 and upwards. There's some 8,000 square foot houses that are tucked back in there on that cliff. Pretty massive houses. And there's also homes that sit on these edges that are not very big. And you can't really tell by the exterior of some of these properties just because they do have that older style look to them. But a lot of them just have been completely gutted and redone to the era of the home. I mean, it's just incredible at what some of these homes have on the interior, but just don't look like it from the exterior. A lot of these properties also will have swimming pools or tennis courts. Just it's crazy at what you can find. All these houses right here were not built during those 40s and 50s, as you can see. These are definitely newer homes. Tucks back in there, gated, but you can probably get an idea of the view. I love this house right here. The other cool thing about these three neighborhoods is that they're all state or city streets. So I will sometimes refer to the state streets area. The overall area could be classified as the Heights, but they break them down into neighborhoods. So, for instance, this is New Mexico Street. On one side over here we have just these small single stories, and then you get into these mid-century moderns again and Northwest contemporaries. I just love this neighborhood. More towards the northern side of the neighborhood. So these homes that are on this portion are going to be less expensive. In maybe some of them are upper 400s, 600,000, and then you do have some of these that are bigger, which you cannot tell from the exterior, but some of these are 3,000 square feet, and it just doesn't even look like it. Loop back around here one more time. So we just basically went around the whole exterior of the neighborhood. Okay, I wanted to come back down Dubois Drive one more time so you can see the opposite side of the street. Essentially, the other side, equally as nice homes, you just don't have the views. They're not typically as big either, but you have all sorts of mixes in here. Basically, every property is very well maintained. Doesn't matter which side of the street you're on. So that's it. That is the Dubois neighborhood, or Dubois. We're going to head over to Evergreen Highlands now. Okay, now we are in Evergreen Highlands. This is the furthest east of the three neighborhoods, and we're coming up onto Buena Vista Drive, which is the third of my favorite streets in this area. Again, all of these homes on Buena Vista Drive sit on kind of the bluff. A lot of these homes are definitely bigger than 4,000 square feet, original properties, half acre, acre lots, full views of the Columbia River and downtown Portland. It's tough to see some of these because they are tucked back in there. But most of these homes do have swimming pools. A couple of them have tennis courts. This is another neighborhood where it is very low turnover. It is tough to get into any of these houses that sit over here on the right hand side of Buena Vista. Some of them, the original homes, have been torn down and rebuilt. Open lot there. And then you have some of these really small, older homes that just sit on the cliff. Eventually probably be torn down one day to build some of these more massive properties. Yeah, it's really hard to see some of these homes because they're so tucked back in there. Mostly because they sit on, half acre, acre lots, and they get pushed to the backside of the property to maximize the view and obviously privacy as well. You can kind of see the Columbia River right there. So this is the southernmost edge of Evergreen Highlands. We'll turn around so you can get a look at the other side of Buena Vista. This is the off to the right is the northern side of Buena Vista Drive. You can see all these homes again are on bigger lots. Just you have this little older house and then this property here where obviously whatever was there was torn down and then that was rebuilt. So it does happen in this neighborhood because these lots are worth a premium because of the neighborhood, the view, the location, just everything. This is a very high demand neighborhood with very low turnover. And some of them have been updated to make them look more modern. Yeah, I mean, you just have these older homes that sit across the street from multi-million dollar properties. Head back around from Buena Vista and start hitting the interior portion of Evergreen Highlands. Now we are on Highland Drive, which is the next street over from Buena Vista. Buena Vista, Rhododendron, and Dubois Drive are all very sought after addresses. So it's kind of a So now as we're driving through Evergreen Highlands, as you get away from Buena Vista, you have these smaller homes, more entry level for the neighborhood. They're not as custom as the homes that actually sit on Buena Vista. But it is still a very nice neighborhood. I love all of these houses on all of these streets. And here we have the other neighborhood park, the third one of the three neighborhoods, which is great. On this portion, a lot of just 1940s, 50s, 60s, one levels. House is being redone. Now we're at the most northern portion of Evergreen Highlands, and just basically more split levels, one levels back on this end of the Evergreen Highlands neighborhood. And that's really it. That's Evergreen Highlands. A little bit bigger than the other two neighborhoods. You essentially have one street that is substantially nicer in Evergreen Highlands, which is Buena Vista Drive. So that concludes our tour for Evergreen Highlands, South Cliff, and Dubois Park. If you have any questions about any one of these neighborhoods or any neighborhood in Vancouver, I'd love to help you out with those questions. Or if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, I'd love to assist you with that too. If you like my videos, please subscribe and hit that little bell to remind you of any time that new videos come available. Thanks and have a great day.